Thank God. I feel like I've been waiting for this game for 20 years. Ashes of Creation will be playable in 2024. All right, we're gonna find out.
It's been 4 months since my last Ashes of Creation update video, so today I'm going to recap the past 4 development live streams.
I didn't see the caravan video.
Follow the project and don't have time to tune into the hour-plus long live streams each month. In this video, we'll cover the Alpha 2 Village Nodes update, the event update, the caravan system preview, and the Alpha 2 Artisanship system preview. But first, today's sponsor, Watcher of Realms, a next-gen fantasy RPG where a whole new experience awaits you, featuring a visually stunning world and lifelike 3D hero models with intricate details, all enhanced by top-tier audio-visual effects. Discover a new RPG experience with Watcher of Realms' unique 360 degrees real-time operation battlefield, where you control diverse heroes in dynamic maps to strategically block enemies from sky, land and water using your hero's special effects and abilities. The fast-paced 2 to 3 minute levels as well as the user-friendly upgrade system make Watcher of Realms the perfect game to play anytime and anywhere. The game also features epic boss battles against formidable foes like huge dragons.
Is this like a tower defense or like you kill like I don't even know what this is.
And mechanics to challenge your team of heroes. Going into the holiday season, players can experience a festive
I've seen like 2 or 3 commercials for this game.
Decorations and exciting rewards. Collect hero shards for a free legendary hero
get Merlin.
and unlock skins through daily
Arknights? I never played Arknights.
Returning players will also receive rare resources and items as a warm welcome back to the realm. You can also join a large-scale Christmas event for even more rewards. Simply choose your camp, support your team, and vie for enemy honors in this epic showdown. So use my link to download and experience the magic of Watcher of Realms, where every moment is a new fantasy waiting to unfold. So the last time I updated you on Ashes of Creation, we covered the Mage preview, Alpha 2 Cyclops World Boss Showcase,
I saw
the Freehold Showcase,
this was
and
amazing.
the Alpha 2 Cleric update.
As I said, bro, like, it sounds like so stupid, but I actually think that having the mounts sit there and not despawn whenever you get off them totally made this entire video for me. It sounds like such a stupid thing, but like it adds like a level of permanence and realism that I didn't even know, like I didn't even know existed.
And the Alpha 2 Cleric update. The August development update stream was a real highlight for me, as it was the first time we've had a glimpse at the village stage nodes in Ashes since Alpha 1, which was over 2 years ago, with the game since upgrading from Unreal 4 to Unreal 5. The stream starts out with Steven outside of a node, nice cape physics on display. We get a look at the node treasury UI, where the mayor can create buy orders for resources that can be used by the node. They gathered some rocks, then ventured towards the node of Winstead.
Yeah, this looks really nice. Like, this is exactly like whenever I think of like a fantasy game, this is what I'm looking for right here. This is incredible. And I think that really what I hope that what they drill down on now is the combat, because I'll tell you right now that if it goes live and it looks like this, people will play the game. Like, you can guarantee that people will play the game whenever this comes out. But the combat needs to be really good. Like, I'm going to be honest, I think it needs to be at least as good as BDO combat. I don't think BDO combat is that great if you consider every other type of game out there. It's great for an MMO, but it's not really, in my opinion, that great overall. It needs to be better than that.
Which is completely unrecognizable to the village stage nodes we saw in Alpha 1.
It is. Yeah.
We get a tour of the node, checking out various buildings such as the caravanserai, some in-node housing.
Like, I know people probably like hate on me for this because like I just always say it, but like Elden Ring is the benchmark. That's the benchmark. That's good. That's good combat. And every other game I match against Elden Ring. How close is it to Elden Ring?
Vendors on the street. Visually, I thought this node looked unbelievably cozy. The textures, the small details, the subtle environmental animations made this look super immersive and a place I'd love to settle in as a hub for my adventures. Next we look at some more UI menus, one for a requisition agent, another for node tax rate, and a building menu UI, which shows
I can't wait to raise the taxes. It's gonna be so fucking fun.
Different node buildings basically have their own upgrade trees for specialization. For example, some nodes might want to build multiple blacksmiths, one blacksmith that specializes in sword crafting and another in axe crafting. So as a crafter, you'll probably want to settle in a node that has buildings specialized in a way that complement your desired crafting niche. Next, Stephen shows off some building construction by building a smithy. He heads to an empty plot, gives the required resources to a construction foreman, and we're able to see an ultra sped up animation of the building being constructed piece.
Yeah, this was really fucking cool. Is that like everybody in the area can actually see the building get made over time. And I think also like what they should do is they should make like an event where all of the people that have like a residency in the node, if they are online and near the building whenever it actually gets created, they get a buff, right? Because you want to have different reasons for people to take part in like these events. I would love something like that.
By piece. Obviously, for full release, this building will come together over the course of several days.
Yeah.
But so far, I love the direction they've taken with this. Seeing the footprint and foundation of the building being laid with NPC workers hammering away. This is some epic attention to detail, once again adding to that sense of immersion we've been looking for in an MMO.
Yeah, exactly.
Once the smithy is built, Stephen crafts a sword at the anvil, then walks around the node showing off more of the visuals. Aside from
I think that really like all of the social systems and everything, that's something that will evolve over time. Again, like I really mean this. My only real concern for this game is combat. Like if you can nail the combat, this game will be a massive fucking game. And if it doesn't nail the combat, then it'll still be popular, people will still play it, but it will never reach the heights that it could.
Actual gameplay shown in this live stream, we also had a bunch of slides talking about citizenship,
that's all it is.
Mayorship, mandates, mayoral commissions, policies, service buildings, and buy orders. Too much to go into.
You cook your meat over the fires in Valheim, though? Oh, hi, Asian Bunny. I don't know, actually. I think that you should be able to. Like, if you can't, you should be able to.
Depth for this concise overview video. Overall, the August update was an absolute banger. A 2-hour
this looked
plus
awesome.
live stream packed full of information showing multiple...
Do you remember, like, my idea about how, there are, like, homeless people that would steal money in the... They should have a system where, like, homeless people steal money in the node, and after enough money gets stolen, you can pay the church to put the homeless people in a cannon and shoot them into the mountain? And reset the homeless tax. Remember that? Like that's like, yeah, I thought up this thing. I forgot even what it was, but that was basically what I was talking about.
Systems working, and the response to this one from the
Genius,
Ashes community
just
was
put them in a cannon
positive.
And
Moving on to September's live stream, which was focused on the event system in Ashes.
Yeah, I saw this one.
Starting out, the party moved through a forest, killing a few giant spiders. Eventually, an event is triggered ahead. Events in Ashes can be triggered based on multiple different factors, such as player activity in an area, story arcs, and node progression. Upon arriving at the event area, the 4-player group was automatically converted to a raid group, and they had to defend a caravan with its friendly NPCs from several waves of bandit attackers.
And this is also like a game design thing, where if you have a system like this, what you really need to worry about is having people game the system and just spam it over and over and over. With the white shirt? Oh, this is a new white shirt, actually. And feeding homeless mob? Yeah, that's it.
Players eventually turned up to form an 8-player raid, and once the final wave was defeated, a reward chest was lootable. The event system...
Because, like, remember back, like, in WoW, like, you just have everybody spamming these events and nobody's really paying attention or caring? Like, that's really not good gameplay. Like, I liked... And, like, in a way, I liked the New World chest runs. I like that because it was, like, unique and special, but everybody just running around AFKing... just like waiting for an event to be over, I think that sucks.
Basically works how you'd expect it to work when it comes to difficulty scaling, rewards based on contribution, and multiple stages. Events like this will likely be a nice distraction to mix up your gameplay whilst out and about in the world. This wasn't all for September's livestream though, as we finally got an announcement for Alpha 2.
Wow.
sometime
Holy
in 2024. Shit. I kind of expected that to be the case, but yeah.
I mean, I believe it when I see it. Like, let's be honest, I believe it when I see it. Like, I want to see it.
Nice to
because I think that they need to get Alpha 2 out. Like, I think number one, they need to like nail the combat. Like, make sure the combat is in a very, very good state, because if it's not in a good state, what's going to happen is people are going to make their decision on the game being good or bad based off of it in that state. So, like, if the combat is bad, then the game's bad. If the combat's good, then the game could be good, right? Like, New World had good combat whenever the game came out, first got announced and, like, playable. But then, you know, like, everybody thought it was great until, like, they got to max level. So, but at least everybody bought the game, right? At least everybody was hyped up and everybody bought the game. So, that's it. And also, I want to say, like, very fucking clearly, you need people to beta test. You need them, because, like, there will be things that, like, just, like, different degenerate behavior that the developers have no idea this could happen, and they've got to figure that out before the game comes out. And the earlier that they can course correct, the easier it will be for them to change systems that are problematic.
Have the confirmation now. Other than that, we also
need
have
to see
some
what's
art
broken,
updates,
yeah.
which I'll flash on screen for you to look at now.
Oh. Nope. Looks like Avatar.
And that was pretty much it for September. A decent stream,
cool.
But certainly not as hype as some of the others we've had this year.
Oh, fuck yeah.
October's development livestream, however, was definitely one I'd consider to be one of the best this year.
See, I actually did not see this one, so I'm super interested about this.
As it showed one of Ashes of Creation's largest, most complicated features in action, the caravan system. The stream starts out with Steven inside a building with an NPC called a commodities vendor. First, he explains that the primary currency accepted by this vendor is a resource called glint, which is a bound resource dropped by enemies in Vera. If you want to quickly convert this glint to gold, you can simply buy commodities from the vendor, then instantly sell it for gold. However, a more profitable decision would be to transport those commodities to a different node that doesn't have access to the same commodities, to then sell for a markup. Steven purchases his commodities, which are automatically placed in the storage, then heads over to the caravansary building in the node. He talks to a caravan master, which brings up a UI menu where you can purchase a basic caravan. Within this UI menu, you're also able to customize the caravan with various items which will affect—
Holy fuck, look at this. Speed, acceleration, on-road bonus, off-road bonus, turn rate, capacity width, utility slots. Oh my god.
its stats, such as speed, cargo size, as well as active abilities.
It's like the Oregon Trail all over again.
Steven upgrades the caravan, and we can see how the cargo size is increased. He places the commodities into the caravan from the storage menu, then clicks launch. Next, you need to find a location from which to launch your caravan within a certain proximity to the node. This is done so players can be sneaky and launch their caravans out of the sight of potential player bandits.
Oh, that's kind of smart, yeah, to give the player an advantage.
Finds his caravan launch location, opens the UI, clicks on the caravan, and the caravan begins being summoned. This can take about 2 minutes. Eventually the caravan spawns and we begin our journey to the adjacent node. On the way, it's explained that the caravan will move faster on the road compared to off-road.
That's smart.
However, on the road, players are more likely to encounter threats,
avoid him.
such as Tumok the Cyclops, who we see roaming around, as well as other players. The party venture off-road, demonstrating that the caravan can't fall off cliffs.
Oh, God. Oh, God, let me see if I can find it. This is probably one of the dumbest ideas I've ever had. So what I'm gonna do again is I'm gonna take a cart and I'm gonna make it right there, and I'm literally just gonna push it off the edge of the mountain to take it down to the bottom with all. Oh. 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 No. Oh my God! There it goes. There it goes. There it goes. We're good. We're good. We're good. We're good. Oh, it's going all the way down. There's the cart right there. So I see something like this. And, man, like, I just, I get a little bit stressed out. What can I say?
Then they cross a bridge.
But to be fair, by the way, incredible fucking gameplay. I still remembered that. It happened last year. Valheim, one of the best games ever made in its class. It is amazing. You should all buy it if you haven't played it already. So I'm... This is a me problem, not a game problem. This is amazing, okay? I don't want anybody to get the wrong idea. Don't get it twisted here.
Realistically, would be a dangerous choke point for player bandits to launch an ambush. Eventually, we also get to see an example of environmental danger and events that can occur whilst transporting goods in a caravan. One example being the road becoming...
Like, this is, by the way, like, this is amazing. Like, I love this. I love the look of the caravan. I love the concept. So they're cutting down trees so they can make room for the caravan to go through. That's fucking amazing. Thank God. Like, I feel like I've been waiting for this game for 20 years.
Blocked by a fallen tree, and
it's
another
incredible.
Being an NPC ambush. Here we got to see the caravan abilities in action, in the form of an AoE heal, a speed boost, and a repulsion blast which sends enemies flying. The caravan finally boost, and a repulsion blast which sends enemies flying.
That's amazing. Dude, I think I might watch this whole video.
Makes it to the node, crossing the boundary to safety,
this is incredible.
And all of the commodities are automatically placed in the node storage, where they can be sold or repackaged for further transportation. Personally, I really enjoyed this live stream, and it once again highlighted to me that the entire economy...
Yeah, like, look at that. That's so fucking great, man. Oh my God, they were blocking the cart's path, not opening the way. Maybe show how an ambush can be set up. Well, I'm not sure yet. This game looks so good. It's so promising, isn't it? It's like, again, and this is what I was saying, right? Like, these systems are fucking amazing. I love this. Just nail the combat so I can waste my life playing this game. Nail the fucking combat.
Life skill and world in Ashes is being designed to be absolute top tier.
That's it.
There were times during this showcase where I was just blown away by how immersive and cozy it looked transporting these goods.
Yeah.
And I can imagine that the random...
Can you imagine like a 5 of these together moving like siege materials to like another castle? How big of a deal that would be? That would be fucking amazing.
Of events spawning and the PvP risk versus reward will keep players engaged throughout the entire process. As usual, the stream ended with a short art showcase, so once again I'll flash that up on screen for you to take a look at.
Those are nice. That looks like a real dragon, actually. Holy shit. Yeah, the quality's really good on that one.
If you're a crafting geek, then November's live stream was probably your favourite update
I didn't see
of
this
the
one
entire
either.
year. We once again start out in the Winstead node, which was showcased in the previous 2 live streams. This time there's a few new artisan buildings completed in the form of animal husbandry, stonemasonry, and lumberjacking artisan stations. Stephen opens his inventory and consumes a recipe for a weapon known as the Night Blade.
By the way, another thing that nobody cares about except me.
Stephen opens his inventory.
I really like how the dude holds the sword. I like it. And that actually, by the way, is like one of the best ways to hold a big sword like that. Because I have that Zweihander, and that's exactly how I would hold it. Because it's so fucking heavy.
And consumes a recipe for a weapon known as the Night Blade, which we'll be working towards crafting throughout this stream, giving us a full look at the crafting gameplay loop. Next we talk to an agricultural vendor who gives us an intro quest for herbalism. He gives us the mats to craft a sickle, we go to an anvil, craft it and hand in the quest. Each profession will have an intro quest like this where you'll get your first tool.
That makes sense.
We talk to the same NPC again, and he also sells various artisan related outfits and bags for the specific professions.
I think that like one goal that they should set for themselves, and like, what do you guys think about this? I think the goal should be that you can play the game and have being a crafter be the way that you play the game. Because a lot of people are crafters in service of doing raids, or they are crafters in service of doing PvP, right? Like, they only do it in order to enable the other type of gameplay. But, like, that to be the true end game for a certain player, I think if a game can get that, that's it. Because that's an MMO, right? And I think that, like, the big thing for MMOs, in my opinion, is to have it to where people can play the game in totally different ways that are all valid. Like, for example, like in WoW, you can PvP, you can PvE, you can do arena, you can do RBGs, you can do gold farming. And, like, this is very much more true in, like, BC, Wrath, vanilla days, right? Nowadays, it's not as much the case. But, like, the different ways that you can play the game, like, I think the more different ways you can play an MMO, almost, like, the better the MMO is. Because it's a real world rather than just, like, a video game.
During the live stream, though, they didn't have the assets available.
Like New World had crafting too, like this.
Of these outfits, but in the future there'll be an option
From
to
those
toggle the appearance for this on and off.
I never got them.
Which is great for immersion and RP. We got a quick look at the new material inventory UI, which now clearly separates each bag with its respective profession. The benefit of using specific material bags over normal bags is that you can have higher stack sizes for materials, and materials are automatically sorted into their respective bags. We got a clear look at the art.
Thank fucking God. They are automatically sorted. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Like, I fucking hate inventory management.
Artisan UI, where you can see all of your equipped tools along with their durability at the side, as well as your profession XP and levels.
Holy shit.
We also got an early look at the skill trees for professions, with lumberjacking up to the apprentice level being the example.
I think that the pinnacle crafting, like, a lot of people tell me Star Wars Galaxies and Final Fantasy XIV crafting is great. I haven't played it, so I can't really comment on it. But I think the pinnacle that, like, Blizzard, not Blizzard, I was going to say, with like Burning Crusade, right, that they should go with this game, is Burning Crusade crafting, New World crafting, and for skilling up, New World skill ups, and RuneScape. Like, those are the games that I think they should look at and be like, okay, we should take, like, this much from this game, because those are the best games for that kind of system.
Shown. At higher levels, this tree will likely have a lot more depth and options. Artisan skills will each have certification quests which you'll need to complete to level up to the next tier of mastery.
Not a big fan, honestly.
For example, going from novice lumberjacking to apprentice.
In a lot of ways.
Which I think will add
but I am a big fan in a lot of other
each
ways.
Of the game's professions. Like, during this live stream, we're progressing the lumberjack certification quest, with our first objective being reach level 10 lumberjacking. We head out into the world in search of resources to craft the sword and progress the lumberjack quest, and we also got a look at how corruption in Ashes of Creation can sweep across a zone if not dealt with by the players. So
if they have quests like this would be really interesting. Like, imagine like a lumberjack quest where you have to, like, cut down like an int, right? Like, you know, in Lord of the Rings, like the tree guys, you have to cut them down. But, like, you go and you're going to either fight him. You can either kill the int, or you can have him make you an axe that, like, makes you, like, your lumbersmithing better, right? But, like, now it will take you longer to level up. Like, and it can create, like, different decisions that you can make as a player. I think that would be really, really cool. I don't know how much in depth they can do that, but, like, something like that would be great. Or become friends with the tree guy. Yeah, that's what I mean, right? Is, like, you either spare his life and he gives you his arm, like Groot, for example. Like, you know how, like, Groot made, like, his arm like Thor's hammer? Like, he basically does that. And then you go back and you have this great axe, but you don't get the level up.
Corrupted areas will be more dangerous to explore.
That would be super cool.
Provide players with unique harvestable resources. Here we saw a giant ruby, for example, and I absolutely loved the way this huge gem shattered into a cloud of red dust after it was mined. Once again, incredible attention to detail.
I love that.
Next, Stephen mined some basalt, again showing off some of the updated mining physics. Then we ventured deeper into the corrupted zone to try and gather a tree, but didn't have the certification level required.
Oh, red
we
trees.
Got to see some
you have to be
monster in the
175
too, which looked very menacing.
See, that looks amazing. Like, I do think that, like, to a degree, I think that there does need to be, like, some lighting and, like, you know, embellishments on the colors here for it to just, like, really pop. Because, like, if you look at something like this and you compare it to how, again, Elden Ring looks or even New World looks, like, it's almost there. But, like, there's just, I think that really the difference here between this looking good and this looking fucking amazing is lighting.
Back to the village.
Yeah, lighting and shaders, yeah.
To Ashes of Creation's nighttime
because
visual.
like, again, like something like this scene is totally created by the shaders and by the lighting. It's actually not really the style of any of this. All of the style is like pretty normal, but the shading and the lighters just totally fucking bring this in.
With everything now being much more
Found
dark
that amazing
and
lighting?
immersive,
It did.
I love how the moon looks in particular in this
Yeah.
scene. The details
fuck.
really pop against the night sky. Next, a brief explanation on how players can specialise in their artisan skills. You can be a novice in all 22 professions, apprentice in 5 professions, journeyman in 4, master in 3, and grandmaster in 2. This, in my opinion,
There should be one even beyond that you can only be like the Omega Master of. I would fucking love that.
is really nice, as it
Yeah.
allows everyone to at least
That's
try
cool.
out and get a taste for each profession.
Incoming
without
9-year
having to
grind,
hard
yeah.
commit to one right in the
Yeah,
beginning.
artisan,
The
yeah,
certification
artisan master.
quests could
something like
also
that.
prevent players from accidentally leveling up a profession to the next tier of mastery. Next, we go to the lumber milling station to process some materials to craft the apprentice axe needed to complete the certification quest. Processing in Ashes is an AFK.
I also think that they shouldn't make any limiters of like you only have to gather in order to level gathering. I think that you should have to do other types of gameplay in order to enable your progression on your type of gameplay. Like, this is something that I've gone back and forth about and I've thought about for a long time. And I think like the best example of it is like the New World Greatsword, where like if you want to get the artifact Greatsword for New World, you have to do PvP. But like at the end of the day, I did the PvP, I got the sword, and I didn't really like it that much, but I played New World. I didn't just play like the very narrow sliver of the game that I was assigned to playing. So I think that, for example, like if you're a gatherer, you should have to do some kind of like PvE content as well, or like PvP content to make certain progress in like gathering. And if you are a PvP player, you should not only do PvP. I really don't like the idea, and I know people say this is not a good idea, but I actually think that it is. And I think that MMOs that incentivize playing the game in a more holistic way actually are better. And I'll give you a great example is Classic WoW. Classic WoW Hardcore, the reason why Hardcore is so popular and like the aesthetic of it is so good and appealing. Now, a lot of people don't play it because of its nature, but because of the way that you have to play every aspect of the game in order to succeed. Like, you have to level up your professions. You have to level up, get your first aid up. You have to make sure that you have your weapon skill up. And all of this, you make the game a holistic experience rather than just, I'm going to play this MMO for like a very narrow experience. And whenever that MMO stops meeting that experience, then I'm no longer playing the MMO. And I just think that that's not a good way to design a game. And after going back and forth about this over and over, I do really think that you should have to do other things besides just like your main content in order to actually progress in the game. Yeah, don't let people pigeonhole themselves. Exactly, yeah. Because that's what's happened with WoW. Like, for example, like and again, I think Vanilla WoW, like go back to Vanilla WoW. In Vanilla WoW, you would PvP in order to get PvE gear. And you would use PvE gear in PvP. And I think Vanilla WoW had the best PvP. I liked it more than Burning Crusade, Wrath of the Lich King, or any other expansion. And do you know why? Because it was fun. I don't care about it being fair. Who gives a fuck about it being fair? Like, it's not going to be fair. You want to play fair, go play League. Go play Valorant. Go play CSGO. That's what I think. And I know this is probably an unpopular opinion. And I think that a lot of people, this is like the thing, right? It's like, am I right about this? I think I'm right about this, but I'm not completely right. And I know for some people I'm wrong. But I think this is a better and a more true North Star to develop a game for that's an MMO than letting people pigeonhole themselves into playing the game in one narrow way and then quit whenever they exhaust all of that content. But I do think that for a lot of people, I'm right. And I know that it's like I'm saying something that you shouldn't, like, people don't want to be told that they have to do something that they don't want to do. But I think in some cases it does make the experience better. And it makes people go out of their shell and do something that's a little bit more different than what's normal. Fun is better than balance. Yeah, he's based, but chat's nitpicking. Well, I mean, I know I'm right about this. Well, I don't know I'm right for everybody, but I know I'm right for at least myself. And again, like, it's not it's a matter of degree. What I'm saying is that it should be like 80-20. I'm not saying it should be like 50-50. Just 80-20. Everything matters. If your game's already full of chores, such connections will sadly be seen as such. True. Game will draw hyper-focused airplane mode players, be terrible for players to force to engage in PvP. I don't know. I mean, like, so if I think about this in practice, so like if you're doing, lumber working skill, and like there's a special tree that you have to cut down, but the tree is only available in an open PvP area. Would that be good gameplay? I think it would depend. But I think that you could make it good gameplay to where a person has an experience doing that. No, it promotes griefing. So then how can you solve that, right? Yeah, time to camp the tree, exactly. So like, is that the right solution? No, I don't know. But I think that you should try that. And if it doesn't work, then get rid of it. But I think you should try it. Because yeah, I just feel like, with WoW, I think this is the best example, is that with WoW, I think that the way WoW has evolved is that now you have people that are playing the game and they only want to play like their own little narrow part of the game. Whether it's like, I only want to do arena PvP, or I only want to do Mythic Plus dungeons, or I only want to do raiding. And I feel like the way that that has like evolved has been reductive for the game. And it's been very reductive because people are no longer playing World of Warcraft. They're playing one specific system. And I don't think that's helped the game at all. And so that's why I'm concerned, and that's why I'm bringing this up. I know this is an unpopular opinion that I have, but I actually think that it might be a good idea. I think they should at least try it. If it doesn't work, then get rid of it. Like, there's never a point where it's like, if nobody likes this, well, fuck, then get rid of it. But, like, you should try it.
Activity, which will cost fuel to initiate. We start the job and it takes 1 minute to process the oak wood into oak timber. It's worth noting that the node level can affect the speed of processing, as well as the amount of processing slots. We finish crafting the apprentice axe and head back out into the world. At this point we're shown how different resources can spawn at night time. In the example showcased, we had night opals and moon bells. Once again, we return to the corrupted zone, this time with the correct certification to chop down a corrupted oak.
Yeah,
with all
like
the
that.
materials needed, we return to town and open up the crafting UI to craft the Night Blade, the recipe that was learned at the start of the live stream.
Oh, it's only a green. That thing sucks.
The intention with this design is that players can choose to add a selection of optional materials during the crafting process to change the stats and quality of a weapon. Steven clicks the craft button, which would usually...
I mean, Dragonflight has that. So does, what do you call it? So does New World.
Usually bring up a crafting minigame to forge a weapon, but unfortunately it wasn't ready to be shown yet. With the glorious Nightblade weapon forged, that wrapped up the gameplay section of the November live stream.
Looks cool.
A quick look at November's art showcase.
Looks nice. Okay. Not too bad. What the fuck? What the f... Is that a cat, spider, scorpion? What the fuck is that?
And that's basically it for my quick recap of the past 4 months of Ash's development live streams. In total, we've had over 3 hours of gameplay shown to us these past 4 months. And in my opinion, 3 out of the 4 recent streams were what I'd consider to be absolute bangers, showing off multiple core systems in a working state, and the game's attention to detail and visuals continuing to blow me away. If it's one thing that Ashes of Creation has demonstrated to me over the past few months, is that this game will have some of the most interesting and in-depth systems when it comes to professions, economy, trade, player governments, and risk versus reward that we've ever seen in an MMO.
Oh yeah, I mean, this game I think is probably, like, I don't think this game will land and be average. I think that it will either land and be literal shit or be the literal best game that people have ever played. I don't think it's just going to be like an average game.
Been a long road, but it really does seem like Ashes isn't too far out of reach now, and I'm glad that we'll finally have the chance to actually play the game in a much more fleshed out state, with Alpha 2 confirmed for 2024.
I love the building thing.
But that's it for this video. As always, let me know your thoughts on the past 4 months of Ashes updates in the comments below, and which one of these live streams impressed you the most. If you want to support my Ashes coverage, then sign up with my referral code, help us out with a like to appease the algorithm gods. Social media on screen. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
Well, there it is. I mean, like, I will say, like, for sure, the style of the game is, like, really, really nice. Like, I am very, very positive about the style of the game. Like, this shit, as I said, this is what it's all about for me. Like, I'm very happy about this. This game will be visually outdated by the time it releases. I think that visually, you're probably right. And, like, that's one of the things that, like, you have to constantly update visuals. But also, they probably haven't done a lot of fine-tuning on the visuals either. The style is so boring and dated. The style is not super... Like, I think that the one problem that Ashes of Creation has is that whenever you look at, for example, a lot of the Final Fantasy NPCs, you can immediately tell that is a behemoth. That's a chimera or whatever, right? And it's because, like, obviously they've been around for a long time, and also because they have such iconic design. It's the same as from World of Warcraft, right? You can easily tell something's from WoW. Lost Ark, not as good of a design. New World, not as good of design. And I think if you want to go for realism, that's okay, but you still can have stylistically done realism that creates, like, kind of the, it's like an 80-20 rule, where, like, making 20% of the game very stylized makes the entire game feel like it's a fantasy universe that's very, like, it is this fantasy universe. It's not like something else. You don't need to change and make everything super unique, but add in a few of those little unique things, and then that totally changes everything. Like, a good example is, like, Valheim, right? Is that, like, with Valheim, most of the things that you build in Valheim are pretty fucking average, right? You put a wood floor down, and then there's stairs, and there's a box that you put things in. But there's those portals, and those portals look really cool. And so do the trophies. Those look really cool, too. And so you don't change everything in the game, but you just have these little accents in the game that really kind of make the game its own thing, and not just be, like, you know, an Unreal 5 tech demo. Does that make sense? Valheim has a unique style. It does have a unique style, sure, but what I'm saying is that style, I think a lot of that style is derived from only a handful of items. It's not like every single thing in the game has that style. That's my point. And it's art direction, yeah. Style is decent, but it feels to me like they're building a game for the MMO players that have spent 8+ hours a day, so niche. I mean, I don't think that's a bad thing, though. I mean, also, like, you have to have a PvE-focused game. I think you can't have a PvP-focused game and have it not be a niche game. Because, like, and have it be an MMO. Because I think that, like, there's, like, a massive, like, divide by zero problem. Because MMO players want to get better gear and kill other people with better gear. And then PvP players want to kill other people because they're better than them. And these two things will never intersect in a way that's not problematic, in my opinion. And that will, like, you can't reconcile two things that are the exact opposite. And like other games have tried to do that. Like you have, for example, what do you call it? Lost Ark. Lost Ark, you can do the rated PvP where everybody's the exact same, or you can do island PvP where it's Whale Wars. Or like in World of Warcraft, there's like Arena, and like back in the day, you had also World PvP, and sometimes that would change depending. So Destiny PvP, I didn't play Destiny. And Ultima Online, I don't think you can really compare. Like, I don't think you can use games like Ultima Online as a foundation to say a game should do this now because it worked in Ultima Online. Like, I don't think that you can do that because nobody plays the game anymore. So it's like, okay, well, there you go. Like, for example, like with Classic WoW, I think you can use Classic WoW as an example because a ton of people still play Classic WoW. But games that nobody plays anymore, then no, I don't want to use those as examples because they're dead games. They want to earn better gear by being better than other players, but also by being better than others in PvP. Yeah, but whenever you earn better gear by being better than other players, you create like a force multiplier to where those other players are never able to catch up. Because now, not only do you have better gear, but you're also better than them. So it's like, it's a 2x, and so people never catch up. Again, I just think that MMO and PvP, this is like an oxymoron. Like, you will never reconcile MMO players with PvP players. Games try it all the time, and I'm not saying you shouldn't have PvP, but what I'm saying is that the focus on PvP should be spectacle and fantasy and the RPG element of it, much more so than balance. So, like, the idea of PvP in an MMO should not be Gladiator. It should be Lord of the Rings. That's basically what I'm trying to get at. I'll link you guys a video. It's a great video.